Those who have experienced a loss themselves, as well as their loved ones, may find that working through their grief is a considerable difficulty, and finding a way to get out of it is the best thing you can do for yourself. Even though everyone experiences grief at some point in their lives, it may still be one of the most isolating feelings anybody can have. Fortunately, hundreds of authors have penned down the problem in diverse ways in books about mourning because grieving is a universal experience. Also, there aren't any quick solutions in this process, yet reading can help repair and rewrite those narratives, as it provides you with information about the experiences and hardships of those who have come before. I worked with various grief-focused psychiatrists, counselors, and therapists to discover the greatest books about grief and loss that span a broad spectrum of situations and relationships. So let's begin with our list of the 10 best books on grief. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and share. If you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to never miss an update. Links to the books are given in the description below. Number 10. Grief Fueled by Soma. She earned her medical degree and spent her early upbringing in Africa and India before relocating to the United States with her family when Soma was 11 years old. Bhatnagar established 2 startups shortly after the untimely deaths of her husband Movit and son, which occurred within a span of 10 months of each other. This is one of the best books ever written in the self-help genre. By sharing her own tale and journey, Soma Bhatnagar, MT reveals her sentiments in this brutally honest and wonderfully written memoir of loss and offers practical techniques to support anyone going through serious trauma. This story makes you pause and consider the events that happen in life that are merely coincidental, and it assists you in understanding that everything takes place for a specific reason. Despite the fact that Soma has been through a tremendous lot of suffering throughout her life, she demonstrates how she has been able to come to terms with her loss, and how with the passage of time, she has been able to keep surviving and continue to discover happiness in her new environment. Number 9. Crying in Mart by Michelle Zauner. A Korean-American novelist and musician, best known as the lead singer of the independent rock band Japanese Breakfast, published her memoir titled Crying in Mart in 2021. Michelle Zauner demonstrates that she is much more than a brilliant musician by writing this lovely novel about family, food, tragedy, and perseverance. She recounts her experiences as one of the minorities of Asian American children, while she was growing up with both humor and heart. A realistic and comprehensive description of grief through time, this literary masterpiece is filled with times of faith, humor, elegance, and clear-eyed judgment, making it one of its most heartfelt and genuine works. While not shying away from the tragedy of her mother's cancer-related death, Zauner uses Korean cuisine and culture to honor the bond she shared with her mother throughout her life. Number 8. Healing Your Traumatized Heart by Alan D. Woolfeld. A well-known resource in the media, Alan frequently contributes his knowledge and insight to a variety of prestigious television shows, newspapers, and magazines. Alan books prove that his life is dedicated to assisting people in healthy mourning so they can go on to live healthily after a loss. This compassionate guide offers advice for coping with grief in a practical manner and is intended for those who have been affected by a traumatic death. Included are discussions on topics such as coping with the stress of having a family, expressing feelings of hurt and anger, dealing with comments that are hurtful, and exploring feelings of guilt. It provides 100 useful suggestions that can assist you in getting through the difficult time of your loss. Some of the concepts investigate the fundamentals of grieving after experiencing traumatic loss and mourning. The remaining points offer proactive and practical suggestions for moving past the traumatic experience and embracing your grief. Number 7. It's Awked You're Not Awked by Devine. She is a psychotherapist and advocate of grief. She also initiated a famous website, Refuge in Grief. She was motivated to offer help to those suffering from grief and loss after she faced the heartbreaking death of her partner Matt in a car crash in 2009. It's Awked You're Not Awked is a heartfelt text containing Megan's empathetic writing style. She challenges the traditional stages of grief viewpoint. Her perspective changed after her own devastating experience. She tears down the time heals all wounds myth and persuades them to embrace their loss and pain. Our acceptance of the chaotic emotions accompanied by loss is necessary. She equips the readers with practical tools and grief management strategies to help them maneuver the turbulent path without succumbing to the dark abyss of grief. It's a compassionate book that will provide solace to anyone experiencing the aftermath of loss. Number 6. Finding Meaning by David Kessler. This book by David Kessler primary areas of focus include grief and loss counseling and clinic care. In this book, Kessler guides readers through the process of remembering loved ones who have passed away with more love than pain. He demonstrates how to move on with our lives in a manner that is respectful of the people we have lost. The insight that Kessler provides is both skilled and intensely personal at the same time. This new book by Kessler conveys the message that one of the ways to heal oneself is by lending assistance to other people. Kessler draws from both his own experiences and the findings of his research to illustrate his points. Kessler has experienced multiple instances of personal loss. The book conveys a number of messages regarding the dynamics of grief and the ways in which society either supports or fails to support the fundamental human need to mourn. Finding Meaning is an essential addition to the canon of literature on bereavement and a fundamental handbook for recovering from extreme loss. Anyone who is interested in making the journey away from pain through loss and more towards purpose absolutely has to read this book. It is highly motivating. Number 5. Healing Your Grieving Heart for Teens by Alan D. Woolfeld. A popular writer who also contributes on a consistent basis to a number of different publications. Alan's works have been translated into a great number of tongues and have collectively sold more than 1 million copies around the globe. Dr. Woolfeld uses straightforward language to provide a sensitive and in-depth explanation of the grieving and mourning process. Because of this, it gets simple for adults and teenagers to comprehend, which is especially helpful when concentrating is difficult. Because each chapter can be read alone, the reader is free to jump around to whatever topic most interests them. After the passing of a significant person in a young person's life, Woolfeld provides real and actionable advice on how to deal with the wide range of thoughts and feelings resulting from this loss. This book offers help to adolescents and youngsters dealing with the passing of close family members or friends who may be feeling particularly alone due to their experience. Number 4. Grief is Love by Marisa Renee Lee. This one is about acknowledging and making room for your sadness. As Marisa Renee Lee explains in book Grief is Love, you can begin to heal from the pain of losing a loved one. In time, you'll have to learn to love the one you lost with the same intensity you did when they were alive. Lee offers an honest and nuanced perspective on working through and modifying your feelings of loss based on her own personal experiences. If you're feeling particularly down, this book's reassuring reminder from Lee that happiness will return may be all you need to get through the day. Grief is Love seems like the perfect thing to say when the worst thing possible has happened. Number 3. Grieving While Black by Bricia Wade. In Los Angeles, Wade was a caregiver for terminally ill patients receiving hospice and palliative care. Wade has been a supportive presence for people going through loss and change during the past 5 years. The topic of grief is addressed in Grieving While Black through the lens of race and racism. Every page in this little work is a revelation. The idea that mourning is intrinsically related to racial identity and systems of racism is at the heart of it all. Wade investigates that everybody might go through communal grief by drawing on her personal experience of interacting with people who have been bereaved, who have been traumatized, and who are mourning. This book serves as a sobering reminder that loss is an ongoing process and that how society handles sorrow varies significantly depending on a person's race. Wade confronts his readers with the unsettling truth that people of different racial groups do not experience loss and death in the same way, and he challenges them to comprehend the ways in which grief may be militarized. Number 2. H is for Hawk by Helen MacDonald. A masterful account of Helen's battle to come to terms with the unexpected loss of her father, the renowned photographer Alistair MacDonald, in her books. Every book resonates to her life purely and is a treat to read. The book H is for Hawk is about more than just falconry. It follows the training of a northern goshawk. Both heartbreaking and hilarious, this book provides a truthful tale of loss, while also providing a fresh perspective on the allure of a truly amazing animal. Helen MacDonald, an English archaeologist and wildlife photographer, takes on the task of raising a juvenile goshawk, named Mabel after the unexpected death of her father. White writes of his attempts to teach his own hawk, and MacDonald weaves his story into her own. At first, flying Mabel causes MacDonald to withdraw from the world, but ultimately, as her relationship with the goshawk deepens, it helps her overcome her grief and begin the process of healing. Number 1. Rebellious Mourning by Cindy Milstein. She is a queer anarchist, activist, and author. Cindy has a reputation for leaving a significant mark with her writing and has the ability to always leave people speechless with her words. It is not a stretch to say that she is one of the best authors, and the books she has written about grief comprehensively describe the relevant laws and their enforcement. In the anthology entitled Rebellious Mourning, several different authors explore the concept of grieving through the lens of a variety of different experiences. This book examines how the experience of grief and the process of moving past it can be an essential component of social change. Grief is for everyone, and I would mention it's being a part of life or a phase that comes in every person's life. The thing is about getting out of it, recovering from it. I hope that these books will surely help you out. If this video helped you find the next book you are going to read, then like and share this video. Let me know in comment section on what type of books I should cover in my next video. Also, if you read one of the books mentioned in this video, share your review or thoughts with us. Subscribe this channel for more such awesome videos. Thanks for watching.